It's no secret that Max Verstappen isn't happy with Yuki Tsunoda's promotion to Red Bull. But is he so displeased with it that he's refusing to give his new teammate advice on driving the RB21? Apparently so. Is there bad blood brewing between Red Bull's newest driver lineup? Let's see for ourselves right now. Yuki Tsunoda hasn't yet experienced the trickiness of Red Bull's infamous machinery, but he's definitely noticed the instability that comes with it. Despite that, Tsunoda isn't planning on reaching out to his new teammate, the legendary Max Verstappen, for any advice. Why? Because he doubts the multi-time world champion would tell him the truth about how to tame the beast. After Red Bull made the call to demote Lawson, after just 2 races in 2025, Tsunoda is making a high-profile move from Racing Bulls in a straight swap. He'll make his debut at the Japanese Grand Prix this weekend, right in front of his home crowd. Lawson's start to the season was anything but smooth, as he failed to score any points and couldn't even make it out of Q1. And many believe the V-Carb too, the car of Red Bull's second team, is actually easier to handle than the RB21. Lawson's struggles follow in the footsteps of other drivers like Sergio Perez, Alex Albon and Pierre Gasly, all of whom found themselves walking through the Red Bull exit door after tough spells, alongside Max Verstappen. Verstappen has certainly earned a reputation as a bit of a teammate killer at Red Bull. So, with the Japanese Grand Prix just around the corner, Tsunoda was asked if Verstappen had shared any secrets with him about how to make Red Bull's tricky machinery tick, considering Max is pretty much the undisputed master of it all. Here was what he said. Not really, to be honest. And I think even I tap his shoulder and ask about the car, I don't think he's going to say the truth. So I've just got to discover myself in data, how he's driving, also on board. And obviously I already checked videos from him in last year's Grand Prix, how his driving. And the thing is, I didn't feel the trickiness yet, clear trickiness about the car. So I'll feel it for myself. And I'm sure it also depends on driving style. It will behave a little bit different. So once I build a car, and yeah, I'm sure in my 5 years experience already, I believe that it will give some ideas to sort it out. And once I, really struggle, whatever. No, I don't think so. I'm still asking, and just kind of discover with my engineers, and the engineers I worked with so far are being very helpful, and already gave some ideas. What kind of characteristic that's giving drivers very less confidence? Everything. So, I think every information are already stuck in my head and it's pretty clear. So, just to see how it goes after FP1. Tsunoda says that the way a driver approaches the car can influence how the Red Bull RB21 behaves, but he's not planning to radically shift his own driving style now that he's stepping up from Racing Bulls. After 4 seasons, and a little extra, with the Red Bull Junior team, Tsunoda feels confident that his approach will work just fine in the big leagues. I didn't feel yet the exact trickiness what the driver is saying, he reiterated. And I can add a bit of an idea from the simulator, but it's always a bit different from the simulator to real car. So I'll see after FP1 if I have to change setup, but I don't feel I have to change my driving style, because in the end, so far it works well, I guess. With V-Carb, otherwise probably I wouldn't be here wearing this logo. So I just do whatever I was doing previously, and I go step by step to build the pace and everything. But let's see, maybe I don't have to do that. The car is straight away good. And then last year's, I think Red Bull had a pretty good performance last season, both cars. So, I'm quite looking forward to it. I, at the same time, can feel what the drivers were mentioning about the instability or driver confidence things. But I mean, I did multiple setups that I want to try to make it a little bit better. And actually, those 2 days sim was pretty productive, and at least I know now what kind of direction I want to start. And that seems to be also a good baseline as an overall performance as well. I think it was really, really good simulator sessions. Before heading to Suzuka, Tsunoda had the chance to take part in a Red Bull event in Tokyo, where he joined fellow Red Bull-connected drivers, Verstappen, Lawson, and Isaac Hadjar, for an exciting day of festivities. During the event, Tsunoda set his sights on securing his first F1 podium on his Red Bull debut, right in front of his home crowd. As the race weekend looms, the question was asked, does he still dare to dream of such an incredible achievement? Yeah, I mean, that would be great in the first race, home Grand Prix, he said. That's obviously inside of my head. I would say more like dreaming for rather than target, to be honest. It will be tough. I'm expecting it'll be challenging. Won't be easy as a probably I think, or probably people think. But it's such a limited time to adapt, and it's another different beast as well. But I'll do my best, and if I get all through Q3 and score points, I'm happy. After being interviewed yesterday, Max Verstappen made it clear that he is really leaving Tsunoda to figure things out on his own. When asked if he had shared any advice with Tsunoda about what to expect when he climbs into the Red Bull RB21, Verstappen's response was clear. No. I mean, I've only seen Yuki yesterday quickly, and he's been busy at the factory. But at the end of the day, it's not really up to me. Also, he has to find it out himself, because my experience might not be his experience. When asked if he thought Tsunoda truly deserved this shot, stepping up to Red Bull after 4+ seasons with the junior team to replace Lawson so early in 2025, Verstappen had this to say. I think that everyone that tries to make it in the sport is working for it every day. They deserve a shot, for sure. Right after Red Bull made their announcement, rumours began swirling that Verstappen wasn't exactly thrilled with the decision. Helmut Marko, Red Bull's senior advisor and driver program boss, later confirmed that Max was not happy about the swap that saw Tsunoda replace Lawson. So, when Verstappen was asked how he felt upon hearing that Tsunoda would be his new teammate, his response was, "My reaction was shared with the team. But in general, about not only the swap, but I think about everything. We discussed that already during last race weekend, back at the factory." And when further pressed on if he agrees with the decision, he said, "Like I said, everything has been shared with the team, how I think about everything. Sometimes it's not necessary to always share, let's say, everything in public." What Verstappen was willing to share, however, was his belief that the real challenge for Red Bull isn't about who his teammate is, but rather the RB21 itself, which he considers the main issue. Meanwhile, McLaren has hit the ground running in 2025, clinching victories in both Australia and China, with a dominant 1-2 finish in the latter. While Verstappen is just 8 points behind Drivers' Championship leader Lando Norris, Red Bull is already trailing McLaren by a hefty 42 points in the constructors' standings. "I think our main issue is that our car is not where we want it to be," said Verstappen. "I think everyone knows that within the team as well, and that's what I focus on, to be honest. Because as soon as the car is more competitive and more drivable in general, then I think even in the second car it will come to you anyway a bit more naturally." Red Bull was adamant that the decision to swap drivers had been thoroughly agreed upon by the entire team management and their Austrian corporate owners, with Helmut Marko, who oversees the development and deployment of young drivers, giving it his full backing. This came as a sharp turnaround after the more seasoned Tsunoda had been passed over in favour of Lawson, who had only completed 11 F1 races at the end of last season. Tsunoda described the snub, particularly after the decision to part ways with Sergio Perez, as brutally hard. Marko had explained the rationale behind the team's move in detail earlier in the week. However, the calm outward appearance didn't fully match the internal dynamics, as Tsunoda later revealed in Japan that he found it strange. Marko hadn't reached out to him at all since his promotion. It seems there might still be a bit of tension behind the scenes. "Surprisingly, he didn't call me yet. Very unusual," he said. "Not sure why. Maybe he was busy with other things. It's very unusual. From F3, F2, F1, he's always been calling me. But this is the only time he didn't. I'm sure there's not anything from his side. Even in the last few races, we've still had a good relationship. Why is Yuki Tsunoda's Red Bull promotion met with so much resistance from Max Verstappen and Helmut Marko? Share your theories in the comment section down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.